Him and I just met up with a local fellow. He is starting a orchard and was looking to have a ram pump go up his hill. So hopefully next week I will be filming a video with him of installing a ram pump for his growing needs. Welcome back to Land to House. What a change from last week. Look at these trees. They've gone from brown to green in just a couple of days, so really great. Well, Emma and I are outside today and we're gonna do some planting. I picked up a hydrangea from Walmart. A little expensive, it's $25, but I'm gonna do 3 of them here in front of the house. And I've got this maple tree, and I think I'm gonna put that down here in the yard somewhere. Then we've got, you okay? You all right? Yeah. Grapes, raspberries, and blueberries for down in the garden. So this means it's about time to get my water storage system installed and running. I've got the tower built. Now I just have to get the tanks on there and plumb it up. And then we have to get the ram pump running up the hill. So should be good. But for today, it's planting time. So I am really not very good at gardening or landscaping or any of that. But today we're going to try and get this place looking decent. Put this mulch and black fabric down on top of the only grass I can grow here on the property. Kind of ironic. Somebody had commented saying that putting this black plastic or black landscape fabric down would prevent water from getting to the soil. And I'm not finding that to be true here. This ground is very wet. Okay, I've got some of this Miracle-Gro. I think this is a Monsanto product, of course. I've broken up the roots just a little bit. Get this placed in here. And I'm just going to fill this back in with more of this Miracle-Gro stuff. Potting mix. Nice, there's plant 1 done. I also was able to weed out some of the grass that was growing back there, and some of it up here. Need to come back here and finish up. My supervisor's getting a little bit cranky. So we're gonna try and plant the maple tree real quick and probably have to go back in for a little while. Okay, there's the red maple. I thought I would plant this up here at the edge of the house, edge of the driveway, and hopefully it will look nice. So, all right, now on to the garden plants. I just got the garden planted. Here is the grape, so hopefully it'll be able to grow up to the trellis soon. I have my 1 raspberry right here, and then the 2 blueberry plants are planted right here. So we'll see how well they do. I have to go and water everything real quick. Well, Ashley is filming a video for her makeup channel, so I'm gonna spend this time to check out the governor on my lawnmower. So I've replaced or cleaned out the carburetor, and what's happening now is when I crank this up, it just surges at full power, and after about 15 minutes it overheats and turns off. And so I'm going to try and find the governor and just adjust it so that it's not revving up so high. Well, it's nice to have those garden plants planted. They've been in my window for months now, just waiting to be outside. Ashley and Emma just left for an overnight stay at a friend's house, which means I have a full afternoon and most of tomorrow to get some stuff done. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to be reviewing this Triclone trimmer head. Then I want to finish finding out what's wrong with my mower. I think I know. Then I want to do a ram pump install video, and also get the water tanks for my storage water tower up here. So ambitious, but I think I can do it. Well, I just wrapped up the review on the Triclone weed eater head attachment there. Had some friction issues going on. I'm going to reattach the Badger head here that I had originally put on. Now, the company contacted me after my review and said if I would put this in here on my weed eater and then turn that piece. See, I had it like this on here, and they said do that, and it should stop that friction problem that I was having with this one. So that's what I'm going to do here real quick. Well, it's about 4 o'clock, and I decided to go ahead and put together the list of things I need for the water tower plumbing. And I'm going to go ahead and run to the hardware store and pick all of that up, because I'd love to have my water storage from Ram Pump done, because I was just hauling hoses down to the plants that I just planted this morning, and it was annoying having to use well water to water plants when I've got a creek right here. So what I'm doing now is locking up my tiny house tool storage, and we're gonna go off to town. I gave myself 1 hour to go 10 minutes down the road. There's construction up ahead. I've been sitting here for 11 minutes so far. Hopefully we'll make it to the store before it closes. It looks like a pretty serious thunderstorm is approaching. Might be an issue. Well, it rained the whole way here until I turned onto the driveway, and it's just barely sprinkling now, but I definitely do not want to get my camera wet, because then I couldn't bring you any more videos. So there's still stuff I can do, like I'd like to crank up the lawnmower. The throttle spring was like clicked to the farthest position. I took the cover off and it just clicked back, so maybe that's all it was. It was just stuck. But anyway, if it's raining, we can go into the four-wheeler shed and give that a try. Yeah, definitely raining out there now. Well, because it's raining so much, I'm not sure if I want to crank up the lawnmower in here, but I can at least show you what happened. So I'm guessing that a lot of heat is generated here, and so it rides up here and goes to this little ball thing, and this spring will heat up and push outward. So when that happens, it goes over here and moves this spring with the carburetor right here, and when that happens, it shuts it off. So but what was happening was this little spring piece was stuck way over this way, and I just popped it back where it's supposed to be. So yeah, I don't know. Need to crank it up now and see what happens. Well, it's raining pretty hard, but I really want to test this out. So I think I'm just going to crank it up inside here and see what happens. So I'm looking to see if it's going to run at full throttle or run at a decent speed. So let's try this thing out. Well, I think it's still running at pretty much full throttle. Well, I'm learning stuff today. That was fun. So I just took the mower outside in the rain, and I held my foot here, and then held my hand on the shutoff, and then pulled the cord, and then I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do this, but once it was started, I then lifted up the piece without its bolts, and so this is spinning, and I realized that this does move up whenever it's heating up, and that pushes against stuff. So it's still hot, so I'm not going to touch it, but I was noticing that this bar was pushing the throttle piece open. Maybe I'll touch it real quick here. Anyway, so what I did was I bent this bar back just a little bit, and it no longer put pressure on the shutoff there. I mean, it was just on it, but not pushing it, and so the mower ran slower, and that way everything was working well. Hopefully that makes sense to you. I guess time will tell. If it's not raining tomorrow, I will do a test mow and we'll see if that fixed my over throttling issue. Well, that did it. I was able to mow all of this. So before I just got that one little spot down there and it quit. I mowed all of that and all of this, and it was a good speed, no revving up or anything. So just adjusting that little wire to keep that spring from pulling out was all it took. Well, I just finished up part 2 of the off-grid water tower. Got the plumbing in. So I'm gonna head down here to the creek and see what I need to do to get my 1-inch ram pump going in a more permanent position. And first I want to pass by the garden here and see how the plants are doing on their first night out in the wild. I think they're doing pretty good. Hopefully no bugs attack them too soon. See what the grape is up to. I think it may be turning into the sun more than the others, but it's doing just fine. Cool. Garlic is really up tall too. Nice. You might remember watching the videos on creating this intake right here, and it works great. The problem is the creek moved over here. And so I'm hoping that I used a 1-inch pipe under here. I can't remember. Let's see what I did. Yeah, 1 inch, cool. So what I can do is just use this as my intake, and that way I can pull to my bucket. So my bucket intake idea was pretty awesome, and it used the flume as the input point. But that depends greatly on how much water is flowing in the flume. So if I can use the screened intake, it will be so much better. So what I'm going to do is close off this bucket from the flume and then put a screen on top of here. And I'm going to use the other screen intake up there as the new intake. So just have to clean out this bucket real quick. I drug the pipe up to where I want it and got everything ready for filming the ram pump video. So that's good. To close up this vlog, my mom has asked that I make some playground equipment for her, and she wants a balance beam. So I picked up this 16-foot 4x4, and so what I'm going to do is cut out 2 sections that are 1.5 feet and then notch so that this board can fit into here just a little bit, and that will give a nice a balance beam. Okay, first one I'm going to mark at 18-inch. I'm going to give that a cut. I'll have to cut this in 2 different passes to get through the 4x4. Okay, now with my 18-inch, I'm going to move over 7 1/4 and then 10 1/4 here. And I've got that marked, and that's the center point. And I'm just going to run a line here. And I'm just going to make a notch big enough for the other 4x4 to sit in here, just enough to give it something to rock into. And now I'm just going to make several passes in here that I can then use a chisel to clean out. With all these little grooves in here, I can then come back with the chisel and the hammer and just knock these out. Now the longest screws I have are 3.5 inch, so I'm just going to countersink a little bit here. And now lastly, I'm just placing this on my board here. I'm just getting some of these 3.5 inch screws to get this cinched down here. Well, it looks like I may have to add a center support here on the balance beam. First of all, the bow is going down, and then that's just too much of a span. So it's gonna definitely sink down to the ground, but I don't know, we'll see. I think just adding one more support beam in the middle would be all I need to do. But this is my mom's and dad's playground that they are building. Doing a pretty good job. Well, I think the kids are gonna enjoy that balance beam at my mom's house. She's definitely spending a lot of time trying to make it fun around there. Well, it's been a good week. I learned about lawnmower throttles. I was able to get the garden plants out in the garden and a hydrangea in front of the house to look nice. Got the water tower up here plumbed in. Now, I just got a lot of comments on the video saying I should beef up my system a bit more for that potential 1,200 pounds that's going to be up there. So I'll be doing that here in the next week. Also, I've got something fun on the way, and it involves this right here. Should be pretty cool. So that is a project that will be coming up probably next week for the workshop. Hope you've enjoyed this week's vlog. I sure have. And I'll see you next time for another one. Bye.